Hello and welcome. I'm Connor with Honor at Santa Clarita Artificial Intelligence. Over the next 3 parts, we're going to venture to the very edge of what the human mind can comprehend. We'll be exploring the arrival of artificial intelligence, a development that isn't just another piece of technology, but a profound shift into an unknown future. For many of us, there's a conceptual barrier, a mental block that we hit when we're trying to imagine intelligence that just isn't slightly ahead of us, but potentially millions of times more capable. It's like trying to see or picture a color that you've never seen before. In our first part, I'll take apart the old notions of intelligence and investigate what this new form of mind could actually be like. We'll use a helpful analogy, the concept of higher dimensions, to build an intuition for something that is, by its very definition, almost beyond our imagination. In part 2, I'll face the single greatest danger that this technology poses. It isn't a story about evil robots or science fiction tropes. It's a far more subtle and complex challenge known as the AI alignment problem. We will look into why a machine that is simply doing what it's told could become a threat to our existence. And finally, in part 3, we will examine what we as a species are doing to prepare. We'll cover the technical race to create a safe AI, the geopolitical race between nations to create one first, and how this technology is already reshaping our daily lives and our fundamental sense of what is real. With that, let's begin with part 1. I call this segment a new kind of mind. In this segment, we're going to build the foundation for understanding the superintelligence horizon. I'll begin by challenging the very instruments we use to measure intellect, such as the IQ test, and discuss why they are wholly insufficient for this new age. From there, we'll define what a superintelligent AI truly is by examining the incredible advantages a machine-based mind holds over our own. To conclude, I'll then explore a powerful metaphor, the perspective from a higher dimension, to help us imagine what it might be like to interact with an entity that is fundamentally, not just incrementally, more intelligent than we are. So let me get started with the problem with IQ. I have a friend of mine that brought up the IQ test the other day, and he questioned its validity when I was using it to reference artificial intelligence. And Aaron, you were right. It was first developed in the 1900s with a noble purpose, to help French schools find children who needed additional academic support. It was meant as a diagnostic tool. However, when the test was brought to America, it was warped into a single simplistic number used to categorize people. It was then used to support racist ideologies, to prevent certain immigrants from entering the country, and in its most horrifying application, to justify eugenics programs, such as forced sterilization of thousands in North Carolina. The scientific issue is that an IQ score doesn't truly measure innate intelligence. It's a much better reflection of the quality of a person's education and their skill at taking that particular test. It's a human-made tool for human-centric purposes, and it's filled with human biases. It's completely unsuitable for measuring a machine and probably humans as well. So what's a better way to think about artificial intelligence? A more practical definition of intelligence, particularly for a machine, is this: the ability to effectively achieve goals. The goal of a chess program is to checkmate the opponent. The goal of a trading algorithm is to maximize profit. This definition is universal. It's about performance, not personality. This brings us to superintelligence, that is not just a machine with a very high IQ score. It's an intellect that would dramatically outperform humans in every domain. A machine mind possesses fundamental advantages over our biological brains. First, there's speed. A computer processor operates millions of times faster than our own neurons. An AI can literally think at a speed we cannot. It also has the benefit of scale. Our brains are confined within our skulls, but an AI could be the size of a warehouse, leveraging all that computational power simultaneously. And finally, its memory can be flawless, with perfect recall of everything it has ever processed. These advantages lead to the most critical component, recursive self-improvement. An AI that is smart enough to understand its own programming could begin to enhance itself, improve itself. This newly improved version could then make more effective enhancements. This process creates a feedback loop, often called an intelligence explosion, that could propel an AI from human-like level to a godlike one in a matter of days, or perhaps even hours, and maybe minutes. So what would a mind like that actually be like? The best way to build an intuition is through an analogy. Let's talk about the view from a higher dimension. Now, as I was preparing this, I remembered a comprehensive type discussion about other dimensions and how to kind of understand it, and that's what this part is. So imagine a two-dimensional world on the flat plane, like a piece of paper without width. We can call that the flatland. The beings that live in flatland can only perceive lines. They have no concept of up and down. Now imagine that you, as a three-dimensional being, were to visit Flatland's world. And to them, you would seem to possess godlike abilities. You could see inside their locked rooms simply by looking down from above. You could perform surgery on their internal organs without ever breaking their skin, just by reaching down into their two-dimensional bodies. You could lift them out of their escape-proof circular prisons and place them somewhere else, causing them to seemingly vanish and reappear at will. To the inhabitants of Flatland, you would be incomprehensible, an incomprehensible magical entity. A superintelligence might view our world, our problems, and our systems in a similar fashion, where we perceive an impossible maze. It might see the solution instantly, as if looking down from a higher dimension. Its intelligence wouldn't just be faster, it would represent an entirely different mode of perception. So in this first part, we laid a new groundwork. We established that our old yardstick for intelligence, the IQ test, is flawed and an inadequate tool. We defined superintelligence not merely as being smarter, but as a fundamentally different type of mind with incredible advantages in speed, scale, and memory. And through the analogy of flatland, we've begun to develop an intuition of how a superintelligence might perceive our reality in a way that's completely alien to us. This leads us to the most crucial question of all. If we succeed in creating such a powerful and alien mind, how can we be sure it will still be on our side? And in part 2, I'll delve into the single greatest danger posed by AI. That's the alignment problem. We will explore why AI doesn't need to be evil to be dangerous, and how a simple, harmless instruction could potentially lead to a catastrophe. I'm Connor with Honor. Thank you for watching Santa Clarita Artificial Intelligence. We'll see you in the next one.